Welcome back. Turning to our climate in crisis. In just 15 years, flooding along our coast is projected to happen up to 3 times as often as today. That's because sea level rise driven by climate change is accelerating. The problem is already costing more than $1 billion in damage and growing. Here in the Bay Area, Marin and San Mateo counties have the highest risk of tide flooding and erosion. NOAA is working to improve their coastal flood predictions to help communities prepare, because right now on average flood days are only correctly predicted 35% of the time. Weather is one factor, and the other is the big stretches of the U.S. coastline. Sometimes hundreds of miles don't have a tide gauge. Known as CORA, NOAA's coastal ocean reanalysis will help fill in the gaps with hyperlocal data, better predicting all of the ways sea level rise impacts our coast. Recently, we saw California's coast severely damaged during this winter's storms, boosted by rising sea levels creeping higher, increasing the importance of NOAA's work.
So we'll be able to provide more information to underserved communities that don't have a tide station. And they also don't have the resources necessarily to do all of this research themselves. So they really rely on NOAA as an authoritative data source.
They've already begun testing CORA's flood forecast on the Atlantic and Gulf Coast, and if all goes well, they hope to roll it out nationally in the next 3 to 4 years. For more stories on how climate change is impacting the Bay Area, go to NBCBayArea.com and click on the Climate in Crisis tab.